Across the world, scattered like forgotten pages of a lost story, are islands that once pulsed with life. They now sit abandoned, crumbling into silence. Some were sites of war, others disease. Some harbor legends that have outlived their inhabitants. These are not just islands. They are time capsules of tragedy, secrecy, and the supernatural. Welcome to the Lost Chapter. Just 9 miles off the coast of Nagasaki lies Hashima Island, also known as Battleship Island. It's the most infamous of Nagasaki's 505 uninhabited islands. It was once a coal mining colony. Hashima crammed an entire city into a slab of concrete that was just 480 meters long and 160 meters wide. There were apartment blocks, a hospital, schools, temples, and stores stacked tightly behind a seawall. During World War II, forced laborers from Korea and China were brought to the island under horrific conditions. Many died from exhaustion, malnutrition, mining accidents, and escape attempts. Prisoners would jump over the seawall and try to swim to the mainland. The exact death toll remains uncertain. Some estimates say 137, and some say over 1,300. At its peak in 1959, over 5,000 people lived there. But when coal lost its value in the 1970s, the mine was shut down. And by April 1974, the island was abandoned. It reopened in 2009 for limited tourism. Visitors to the island report strange sensations, like they're being watched, hearing whispers. And fishermen claim to see flickering lights from the island, despite the absence of electricity. Hashima is a concrete ghost, still haunted by the past it tried to bury. In the Venetian lagoon, between Venice and Lido, sits Poveglia Island, a place so cursed, even nearby fishermen avoid its shores. Starting in 1776, it served as a quarantine station for plague victims, housing the sick and dying for over a century. Mass graves and ashes still lie beneath its soil. In the late 1800s, it became a psychiatric hospital, and with it came very disturbing rumors. A doctor allegedly conducted experiments on his patients. He was so plagued and driven mad by their spirits, he leapt from the bell tower. The hospital closed in 1968. No one has lived there since, but locals claim they still hear the bell ringing, even though it was removed decades ago. Fishermen report catching bones in their nets. The island, eroding, still reveals its dead. Poveglia is off limits today, but the stories and spirits refuse to be silenced. Poveglia is off limits today, but the stories and spirits refuse to be silenced. Hidden in the East River between the Bronx and Rikers Island is North Brother Island. It's one of New York City's most haunting places. In the mid-1800s, the island became home to Riverside Hospital, used to quarantine victims of smallpox, tuberculosis, polio, and typhoid. Its most famous resident was Mary Mallon, or as we know her, Typhoid Mary, a healthy carrier of the disease who infected at least 122 people. She spent over 2 decades in forced isolation on the island. She died there in 1938. After World War II, the island hosted a brutal drug rehab facility for teenagers. Addicts were locked in their rooms until they were deemed clean, often against their will. The program collapsed in 1963 due to corruption and abuse. But tragedy struck even earlier than that. In 1904, the General Slocum, a steamship, caught fire nearby. Over 1,000 people perished, many washing up on the island shore. Today, nature has reclaimed North Brother Island. It is a bird sanctuary, off limits to the public. A quiet graveyard of forgotten pain. Among the canals of Xochimilco just south of Mexico City, lies la Isla de las Muñecas, the island of the dolls. Legend says a young girl drowned here. Her body was discovered by the island's caretaker, Don Julian Santana Barrera. According to legend, after Don Julian found the little girl, he heard her voice asking for her doll, which he found floating in the water and hung it in a tree. He believed this would honor the little girl and appease her spirit. For over 50 years, Don Julian collected dolls from the canals, trash, and even took to trading produce for them. He hung them in the trees around the island. He never cleaned or repaired them, leaving them eyeless, headless, and decaying in the elements. Some say there never was a little girl, that the story was a product of Don Julian's isolation and declining sanity. In a twist of fate, he died in the same spot as the girl he claimed to have found. Some say he had a heart attack. Others say he drowned. Many believe his death was caused by the girl's spirit that still haunts the island today. The island is a macabre tourist attraction. Visitors bring dolls to honor the legend. The wind rustles their limbs. Some say they move. Some claim they whisper, a shrine to sorrow or madness. It's hard to tell where truth ends and haunting begins. Off the coast of Scotland lies Gruinard Island. Once considered so dangerous, it was left untouched for nearly a century. In 1942, the British government turned the island into a biological weapons testing site, detonating anthrax bombs as part of Operation Vegetarian, a plan to poison German agriculture. The tests worked too well. The strain used, Volum 14578, contaminated the island so thoroughly that it was deemed uninhabitable for decades. Decontamination efforts began in 1986, with the island being sprayed with 280 tons of formaldehyde diluted in seawater, and the topsoil around the detonation site was removed. The effort killed off nearby marine life with its runoff, but eventually it succeeded. By 1990, it was declared safe. Then in 2002, a wildfire tore across the island, burning it from end to end. The cause was never confirmed, but witness reports say it looked like the apocalypse. Gruinard remains empty, scorched by fire, shadowed by science, a relic of a war that never quite ended. From disease and disaster to superstition and scientific horror, these islands are more than remote landforms. They are chapters of human history frozen in time, places where echoes of the past still linger, where the boundary between myth and memory blurs. Abandoned? Yes, but never truly forgotten.